What happens when realistic medieval combat meets chaotic physics? Halfsword. I kept seeing clips of this game pop up online and decided I had to try it for myself. So here are my first impressions after spending a few hours with it. Spoiler alert, it's awesome and you should try it out for yourself. Also, it's free. As mentioned, Halfsword is a physics-based medieval combat simulator featuring historically accurate 15th century arms and armor. One of the first things you'll see when loading in is a choose your level of brutality slider, which is already a great sign. Naturally, I cranked it up to maximum violence. Right now, there are two game modes. Challenge mode, where you basically go from rags to riches. You start out naked, unarmed and barely surviving, trying to climb the ranks. The highest rank I reached was commoner, and even that took some effort. Then there's free play, which unlocks all equipment tiers so you can mess around with whatever you want right away. I spend most of my time in challenge mode. The controls can feel a bit unintuitive at first. I found myself going back and forth in the hotkey settings. Left click controls your right arm and right click controls your left arm. So the whole system reminds me of games like Co-op, where you control each limb individually, but with swords and more dismemberment in this one. The early beggar levels are all about bare-knuckle brawls, or joining what the devs lovingly call the carnage matches. Basically, you throw a bunch of guys into an arena, give them shanks and see who survives. There's also spoilage mode, which has the same idea, but you have to grab a random weapon from the ground. That could be a chair, a hammer, or whatever other unfortunate object is nearby. Eventually, you rack up enough points to face the tier boss, and they're all terrifying. For beggars, it's an axe-wielding maniac. You load in with nothing, so you have to kind of dodge and run around until you can get a good item from the floor. You're going to die a lot, but that's part of the charm. The game is so goofy and unpredictable that it's genuinely fun to see what ridiculous way you'll go at next. When you die in challenge mode, you're thrown into a kind of gulag, survive it and you get to keep your current tier. Fail and it's back to beggar life. Now I can't say too much about how historically accurate the swordplay is, because let's be honest, my gameplay isn't exactly refined, but it definitely feels like there's a high skill ceiling here. Parries, riposts and precision strikes. It all seems possible if you know what you're doing. I stopped after reaching the commoner boss, but I'm really curious to see how far I can climb. It's tough, but in a good way. I also jumped into free play for a bit, just to see what it's like fighting with full armor. Turns out if you don't know what you're doing, a knight will absolutely ruin you. I got knocked off balance and bludgeoned to death, which I guess is probably accurate. Multiplayer would be insane in this game. It's single player for now, but as far as I know the devs are working on adding multiplayer, even though it wasn't originally planned. And with a core this solid, there's so much potential. There's still some things that need polishing, of course, loading times, UI quirks, that kind of stuff, but if the demo is already this good, I've got high hopes for the full release. If you enjoyed this game, I encourage you to try out We Who Are About to Die. Halfsword reminds me of that. It's also physically based, gladiator themed, very fun and more roguelike. That was about it. Be sure to leave a like and subscribe. I put out a new video every so often. Also, I started streaming some of my footage gathering here and there, so feel free to tune in if you're bored. Good luck.